Do you have a chat GPT tab always open in your browser?
I must say that some of we allowed to. We can't disclose all the tricks, but it's a good one. It's a good one. I personally, I'm an enthusiast. I think before the hype came, I was
Yeah.
who was picked.
Tracy was fine.
Before the hype came, I was damn. Before the hype came, I was actually I had a huge, I'll call it a burning desire to study it. It was about 2 years back, but more because I had been exposed to its capacity and I wanted to see it applied in different fields.
Yeah.
So basically, when the bubble burst, it was exciting. Everyone is jumping onto it. So it also felt like I was on the move for it. But honestly, it came from a personal perspective. I felt like it could solve a lot of problems that people do, and especially when it comes to building from code and all that.
So you looked at it in terms of code.
I looked at it in terms of problem solving
Right.
before the whole generative phase came in. But basically, I think it's a tool. I think it's a tool, just like how people use Photoshop. I think AI is a tool.
Okay.
Me on the other hand, I mean, studying AI, but when it came along, fears, I think, some
Fear?
extent. Yes, fear.
Why?
It's a tool you're not sure what it can do, and AI portrayed in movies and whatnot.
Oh, like the scary movies.
The scary bit of it all. So later on, I think I have learned to, appreciate it, that it's powerful, and as Bakka said, as a tool.
Yeah.
As a tool for a creative. Do I have a tab is open? I still enjoy the bit of being able to have my mind look through the things and whatnot. But yeah, when I apply AI, recently, like a lot.
So what?
But I don't
in what ways?
Mostly in Photoshop for me. Before, I tried the copy thing.
Copy AI?
No, like ChatGPT for copy. Yeah, because you have ChatGPT and it helps you with your copy and whatnot to structure the things and that. So it helped in a way, but still, for me, it was a refinement because I could read through the stuff and it's boring. It's not human. It's not as lifelike.
You can't relate.
Like I can relate, but I feel like I would need to tweak it a little bit so that it has that bit of me rather than just being everyone else. It's more generic rather than personal. Like that touch was not there for me. But as a tool, it's a great tool.
Yeah.
It's a very great tool. And I think there's too much you can do with AI. Yeah.
I think I'll consider myself, among the earliest beta users of ChatGPT. No, like seriously.
Okay.
Like it was before, because
Fine.
I was already following the space when I was among the early adopters. But also it's because within the same month of release, I already picked onto it, and like I was introducing it to like my family, my relatives, and like they would give me something, and I'm like, you know what, you could actually make your work 10x faster because I saw what it could do, and it really looked kiddish at the start because it was really giving vague open stuff. But me, I looked at it from the perspective of what could this do when given more, like even before the plugin phase came. I don't know if you guys have used the plugins on ChatGPT. Have you used the plugins? Now you see, you guys have not yet experienced AI. Because now with the plugins, because personally I use the paid for version ChatGPT. That means you can upload like spreadsheets. For example, I use it for finance, for my personal financial audit. So I can put in all my financial statements, my bank And I know it's risky because you're not allowed to share personal information.
That's very.
But again, I saw a clip today that said our personal data is really literally useless. Yeah, I know people say, man, why this guy's getting access to my personal? But you as Tracy, your individual data does not have a price. But when your data is grouped with billions of people, when your data is grouped with billions of people, then it has a value because there are patterns, there are trends that people can derive from that can build products onto. Which is not the case for an individual person. Now with the paid version, it's like on steroids. First of all, there's custom instructions. You can tell it, do for me tables. This is how I think. This is how I want things done. Then you can share PDFs. Then there are plugins. Now the financial plugins there. Like to me, it became a place where I always ask questions. So it's my second go-to place to ask questions. Yeah, but I like how it structures my mind and thought process. Okay, like recently I was thinking about why is it that each time someone plays a song, you can remember a memory attached to that song. So I went deep, like I'm trying to find out why is it like this. Then I got to know about musical memory and how you can actually exploit music to keep memories. I found that quite interesting. So to me, I look at it as an opportunity to see how you can use the lot of information that's existing and use it efficiently. I think later on I will just share about have you guys heard of the Windows update with Microsoft Copilot? I'll just share later.
When you start to ask, I am a Ugandan in this kind of environment, like how accurate is that data? Like how
should we trust?
Like should we really trust that data? Like how true is it? Because it's, a scenario, we are here now, we're experiencing the times that are here now. And ChatGPT, I don't know who's inputting that data. I don't know if they are collecting it in real time, like to give me things that are happening now so that it's relevant to me now. Yeah. So my question would still be that how helpful is that when it comes to giving you like real life, like things that are happening now, because I need that information now. I understand it's connected to the internet and all, but are they getting the data that's happening now?
Okay. When you say now, do you mean what's happening in the world now? You should go on the internet and search and give you that feedback, or do you mean now, like the context with which you've given it?
I'm talking about the now.
Because the internet?
Not the internet alone, because I want to talk the ability to use ChatGPT locally, like to fit a situation. Because you give it Uganda.
Maybe he's saying, okay, a scenario. You train today in Kampala, right?
Yeah.
And you ask the
that
bot.
might be no.
You ask the bot which roads flooded in industrial areas.
Yeah.
So is ChatGPT able to tell us the specific road?
Okay. In an ideal situation, with plugins, it's able to do that. And I think very many people have interacted with it at the level of user, like you fill in the chat. But I've gone further to interact with the API end and like build Excel sheets beyond, like for example, if I'm working with like multiple tables. They offer you an API integration whereby you can integrate Google Sheets with ChatGPT, and then like if you have like multiple responses, So now, for example, again, those are the opportunities it presents. The fact that now people are building on top of it. You can play chess with ChatGPT. You can create. I think now there's an integration of DALL-E. Now, especially now designers, it's going to be. It's now. I'm going to try it out. I think I'm going to try it out tonight. But like there's that whole part, the beauty of that happening, and I think also now that the more plugins. So the fact that it offers people to build on top of it. It then decentralizes information, and that's what I appreciate. Now, going back to the question of the now, or like the context of the way, there are plugins. There are plugins for fitness. There's a plugin that which I think you give your details, and then it creates for your custom fitness plan. How much would you be paying for this kind of information?
From Jimmy's.
For example, at home, I wanted to organize all our meals and make sure that we're eating a specific way. So you put in the specific available meals.
I wanted to say so white.
No, it didn't go through. It didn't go through, but it was something I was thinking about because I was just fed up of buying different things
every day.
It didn't make sense, and I like things like structure. But personally, for the things I could control, I made sure that I could could structure things in a specific way, because it's literally having like access to like someone with a load of information, and like you can just ask them, this and that. But that the thing of like weather, I think it speaks into people building on top of what's existent. Because I think now that's where money comes in, like monetization, but also decentralization of information. Like I don't know if you guys have used it at the case where you can put like 10 Excel spreadsheets. Previously, there's in the paid version there is data interpreter, there's a default, and this is also GPT 3.5. Now in the data interpreter you can upload like PDFs, Excel spreadsheets. Then you ask it to analyze that data, and then now it presents for you visualizations of that data, and it comes to a conclusion. How I used it, I wanted to find out which days at home when I work out, which days do I not work out on most, so that I can look for ways to mitigate what causes that. And on that I use it for data analysis. Like there are a lot of use cases that I think people can use it for, build on top of it.
But don't you think it's making us lazy?
No. Because how can I put it? What that has caused me when I'm working with people, I tend to forget that I'm also working with people. You want to demand something a specific way, this came so quick. If you're speaking to someone, it has rubbed off on me. Like when I'm speaking to people, there's a specific way I'll structure my information, and like I want it done like this, like that. Which I don't think it's making people lazy. Where it makes people lazy is when they want it, they go to it as an end solution. Like this is all, they take it for real. Like the data it gives, this is what they consider truth, or they consider final, which is not the case.
Like they don't go to it to help.
Yes. They go to it as an end. It's an end. Like, you know what, I'm stuck here. This is
like how we go to Google, what's this?
But it's also tempting. Now, if you look at Microsoft Copilot, it's now like on steroids, because now you can tell it, get information from this Excel spreadsheet, pictures from this PowerPoint presentation, put them into one PDF, and then
But doesn't Copilot use the information that's on your computer only?
Yes, but Bing, it's Copilot. There are the three features. There is Copilot, there is Bing Chat, and I've forgotten the third one. So all of those put together, then the latest Windows update.
I think that's better, because
I'm just thinking about how, because you see DALL-E, DALL-E or whatever, what's called. Like a couple of months back, I remember, I think it was in season 1 of Plax. And we wanted to achieve something with a bottle, and it was a Photoshop kind of execution. So like one of those things, you have to go into Photoshop, get a photo from here, and then manipulate it. And interestingly, since then, there have been a couple of things that have come up. You now have Firefly. You have now integrated that Firefly into Photoshop with the betas and whatnot. And then the newer versions, of course, are now coming with it, and then you have generative AI in there for like designers. So I'm talking now from a designer kind of point, because you happen to talk about tables. Yeah, like I can visualize tables and everything and that data, but then how does it help me as the person who creates images, creates things? And I tried out DALL-E again, like this past week, and it was terrible. And to me, I feel like there's something that's not growing. Yeah. Yes, the technology is impressive. It's nice. Like the possibilities, you could think about the things you could do with it, but there's something that is stuck. They're stuck somewhere, and I can still use it in very few use cases as a designer in Photoshop. But then I want to come up with a composition that's fresh, like
it's perfect. You don't have to edit it at any point.
Of course, now you don't have to do much because you want to. And you're talking about now. What you're talking about is being more autonomous. Is that you're removing all redundant tasks and then replacing them so that you move faster. And somehow it's not. I don't know if it's not working or they are stuck somewhere. Tables and data, like perfect, well, good. But now visuals?
I think for designers, I think we just have to give it the right words. Like, when you give it a certain instruction, I want a picture of this bottle of a guy drinking a purple soda can at the beach without shoes. So I think for it to be a bit better, we have to be very specific on what we want. Because I realize that when you're using generative AI, if you're more specific, you get a better result than when you just say purple shirt, blue jeans, what. Like sometimes even now, like for when you're trying to get an image of a person using generative AI, if you go into the details of round eyes, small nose, it can give you a much better result than when you just put black man at an office doing this and this. So I believe that's still on us for now until they, I don't know, do some more research and make it better for us. I think that's still on us to give it better instructions so that it works for us. Yeah.
Well, they bring Neuralink to our mind.
I think I don't know.
You do your Neuralink.
I'm not going to that. But I think you guys are craftsmen. Like, you're not just at the core of, you just want a design to get something done. You dig depth. You get when you want something done, there's a specific style. You know the average someone who's going to look at a design and just be like, pass, let it pass. There's something deeper that you look for. And I think the kind of information and data it's trained on is really to achieve that basic. Do look at this and then go forward. But I know also most people have been complaining regarding the DALI community about that exact problem. And I think with a new development that has been a bit cleared. Because recently I was watching when I think they presented it in either the NVIDIA keynote or the Microsoft event. One of the two, they were talking about that exact issue and how they've come over it. I think that's the reason. You guys are just extreme craftsmen. And I don't think,
and the worst thing is we're not that great with words. So we are really struggling
which is purely okay. So I think you have to be able to use it to just really support you. Because I also think if it does what you want, then you're going to
the job is gone.
Your whole point.
That means we don't need to.
Your whole point for pushing it is to see can it beat the level at which I think can function. Of which and again that's you, and it's just a tool. It's just a tool to help you achieve it. And I think that's what people need to understand. But you know what? We're not competing with this thing. It exists. I also exist. But it's just here to make my process better. Engage it in your brainstorming process, like frameworks. I also think if anyone is a designer, or a creative, they should use it to structure their kind of style. And this is how I think when I'm approaching a problem. Or I have 6 different ways I approach problems. So what that also means is that if this is Tracy's style is documented. So Tracy can also train her style to 10,000 other people because she's now aware of her brainstorming or her thinking process and her executing process.
So how when the AI move came, my parents asked me, so are you going to have a job? Like AI has come. Everyone is saying graphic designers will be out of jobs by 2025. You need to find something else to do. And I was like, guys, this is technology. It cannot think the way humans think. It cannot be. It doesn't have a human touch. It doesn't relate with other humans the way we do. Like, if I'm going to create a poster and I want my background to be made with Mid-Journey, there will be a difference between the image that Mid-Journey gives me and something that I cook up in Photoshop. And even though, I'm not saying that Mid-Journey won't give me something good, it will give me something good, but I think we are still useful because we give it a story. It works with the stories that we give us. So for us to really stand out as we use AI, we have to know the story that we want it to create and give it to type it in.
To help on that, I think now more than ever before, any creative has to understand what is their unique value proposition. Like, I'm not coming to Victor if Victor is an artist. I'm not coming to you because you can make music. I'm coming to you because there is a style. Yet if you're a designer, there's a specific shade that you play with. If you're a color grader, there's a specific kind of texture that you have. So people are not coming to you for the basics because the basics can be met. Now I think now with YouTube has created an app where you can now edit. Where YouTube does the scripting for you, it does the editing for you, and it also does, I think, the publishing for you. And people were complaining because I think it released it 2 days back. People are complaining. Is this going to replace editors? I'm just like, guys, no, it's not. It's going to take away the basic tasks that people do. But what people will still pay for is that unique style. Now more than ever before, people need to know. And I think what that is doing, it's sort of like creating a barrier of entry. That to these people who have been calling themselves graphics designers, they're going to what? They're going to be replaced. But those who have paid the price, now the price they have to pay is to say, this is my style. This is what I do. You get, and you know what? Because I think about 2 years back, I interfaced with a tool that you just give your logo and your text, and it generates for you like 100 different posters. Like that was before even like ChatGPT came out. And so it now, and I also think another bubble that we can build in that discussion is beyond that. As designers, can we use it to? I don't know. You've heard of what's that? There's a credential that when people are complaining about AI using their content, like training their data on images they've used, AI, Adobe came up with something called a content form. Content authorization form that when you create a picture with AI, anyone can know that this picture is created with AI. I don't know if you've heard of that. So now, as creatives, we need to be able to know either you come up with a way that, you know what, for all these simple tasks we've been using, we're going to allocate a specific bulk to AI, and then a specific part to our craftsmanship.
I think that helps maintain a certain style. Because if you give up your information like that, very soon the whole world will be filled with your same style. And people will not need to come to you anymore.
But also people move with what's moving. But you will see the people, there's an area photographer, I think in the 80s, 50s, before drones came. He used to take photos in a plane. I don't know if you've seen his photos on Twitter. And even if drones exist right now, you still find that his style was still unique. Like, I mean, people still go to art galleries and they still buy art pieces that people can generate with AI at a very huge cost. So I think it now speaks into craftsmanship. There's no more playing. You either pay the price or you pay the price.
You know, I watched something really that I think was quite insightful, and it was talking about the different kind of creatives that we have, and you have two sides to it. You have the editor, then you have the wild one. I just want to call them the wild one. The one that the moment they just need to look at a blank canvas and then they imagine the possibility. Then the editor is this person that needs a combination of ideas. So maybe more specific now to AI is you see different things are driven by inspiration. Now you'd want to think that the crazy one is a person that, I don't know, they're a dreamer. They've been having these thoughts and whatnot. But of course everyone taps from somewhere. Everyone taps from somewhere. And then you have this editor. The barrier has been created. Now you can't just get into the thing and not have a style. But then now the editor. Because it's interestingly hard, because for any designer and for anyone that has really gone to that level, is that you find that the more you get there is that you find yourself doing things a certain way, and almost all your pieces of work will start looking the same, because now you're starting to get into that style.
You're starting to create your own style.
Yes, and it's so bad for our industry that people came, graphic design now is profitable, I think. It's profitable. And we've come into a space where people now just want to get in there, make some bucks and, get into the space. Like it's a fast way to make money without, you don't need school. You just need
You just
the
need to go
ability
to
to use the
University
app.
of
Yeah,
YouTube, learn how to use Illustrator, and
Yeah. So I'm worried.
I don't think
I'm
that's the
worried
case.
for the editor.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself an editor?
No.
No.
You consider yourself a wild one?
I want to think I'm a wild one.
Interesting.
But I want to think that I take both sides.
Okay.
I think after a while, you
Yeah.
become both.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a lot of tasks.
Yeah.
You have to tap into that editor side because coming up with something new every time when you're burnt out is not easy.
I think we should also speak to burnout. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in as much as this exists, again, we're looking at efficiency.
Yeah.
Very many people, I know this could drive off the topic, but I think very many people forget to understand that everything around us is a system.
Yeah.
And
True.
okay, in as much as we want to get things done, we forget that we also have systems that have different needs and demands.
Yeah.
Okay? And the moment we don't recognize those systems or feed those systems, we become victim to those systems. Because those systems have been passed down across DNA. And there's a reason as to why they are systems. That they've been built, they're well built into a structure. It's just like when you eat a specific food, your body is going to react a specific way. Yeah. Like that's like before. So I think as people recognizing that and saying, you know what, let me study myself. What are my good points? Do I work better this time? When do I think best? Or when I'm stuck, how do I build a framework around how I approach this? I think it's key. It's key. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits I've learned from working with these tools, especially ChatGPT. I've used it for self-awareness. Why? I think there are very many people there that do different things. And I don't think I'm the first person in the world to think like how I'm thinking. And I don't think I'll also be the last person to think like how I'm thinking.
True.
So probably the guys who have written books about the way I think or how I do my specific things, and they already recognize patterns. I'll just be able to recognize exactly where do I fit in this and know that, I've catered for the basics. Now I can now venture into the realms that are unpredictable. But I am well aware that if I do this, just like saying, if you sleep late, you wake up late. Like even if you do one, I mean, you can fight, but like it's a predetermined system. When you sleep late, you definitely wake up late. So again, I tend to think that if you can use it to map out who you are as an individual and say, share with me how I will react on this stage, at this stage, at this stage, and then you know the variables that exist. Then you try to control the variables that exist to bring outcomes that do not exist. I think that's how people should try to approach this. You get?
But you see, designers are creative people are not that self-aware,
which is necessary.
Which is very necessary. And I think this new movie is going to force us into that place.
Definitely.
Reflection.
Definitely.
Am I really good at this?
I think also,
can I do it better?
if you speak into, I don't know if that's imposter syndrome. Whereby I've reached a point whereby, like, I'll call myself a guy that did YouTube to learn Illustrator and Photoshop. And probably the editing tools. But I still feel like I cheated my way there. I reached a stage and I was like, I also know. This is not me. Right, and then I examine myself. But then I'm like, then some guy says the same thing, like, I'll go past this, So I think it's essential. Again, frameworks. When I feel like if this thing is not mine, how do I go about it? If I want to push myself beyond this cap, how do I go about it? I've learned, like for example, you find, look at this obsession. You find someone who's using these tools and they are enjoying their life maximum. Let me say they're doing like financial analysis for clients. So their clients come, these guys just sit down, they feed these models with their information, and then they get the outcome and they bill heavily. But that's so maybe you're in a discussion with this guy, like you're chilling and they tell you about how they're doing this. What am I doing? You get so it becomes a balance. What do you use these tools amidst your creative style.
But don't you think that if now some jobs can really be replaced by AI, what are people going to do?
I
For
think,
example, that financial analyst, if he can just dial in the type in the data and get the right answer, what is his use?
I think people now more than ever before have to become craftsmen. I don't know. Have you watched the movie? Have you watched the movie Kingsman?
Yeah.
I like how they keep the tradition of, like, you see now it's going to be, I don't just want to wear a shirt. I want to know the story behind the shirt, the story behind the cotton that's used in the shirt. If you look in advanced economies, people are buying materials, or people are associating with brands because of how environmentally friendly.
Yes.
So it now becomes an obsession. Knowledge is like people are making more informed decisions than ever before. Like, you can't come up and lie to us and tell us, I'm making my products from Dubai. But so guys, wait a bit, they're coming. Guys are like, okay, sure.
So it's just from Dubai and that's it.
Yeah, you need to, like, I feel like now more than ever before, you have to engage the client in the information, like in the decision-making process. Like, show them, I'm thinking about this style, but this style is from the flour that was used in these days to this kind of delivery. Then people start appreciating those details, because I think people are no longer paying for the skill. People are paying for the craftsmanship, the crisp, like find some guy editing like photos in a specific way, and you just fall in love with the fact that they do it a specific way. Even if you can do it, you're just like, no, I would rather pay the price for someone doing it than me doing it myself. And I think that's what people should pay for. If you're a financial analyst, you should pay for that. I think it's a human, let's call it a human touch. It's that extra thing. Even if I have clients, me, other than having an online Zoom call with them, meeting them, having my documents there may cause a difference. Then just touching the product. I think that's all key. And now more than ever before, people have to invest in empathy and emotional intelligence.
Brands.
Like
brands. It's all about brand. At this point.
I think now we've been forced into the place where we have to tell a story. What is my story, and how do I illustrate that story in what I do? Like, if I'm a lawyer, why am I a lawyer? Right? Like, am I a lawyer just to get money, or because they told me this is a good profession, or am I a lawyer because I want to stand up for people who can't?
Definitely.
Right? And of course now, like, I can get a bot to just fill in all my details and I get the right answer and I have a perfect motion to present. But there is that extra mile that I will go as a person that people will come for. Right? So at the end of the day, AI is helping us write our stories better instead of replacing
Definitely.
us.
I think, and when you speak on lawyers haven't yet seen it.
So
I've been following OpenAI closely. I don't know if you've checked out their law tool. It's called Harvey.
Oh, okay.
It's called Harvey.
Nice.
It's called Harvey. They've been building it. I've been building it, I think, ever since last year. Because when I started reading it about OpenAI in depth, I used to go and see what kind of products are they implementing, and also like what kind of where are they positioning themselves, or what does their back end look like? So Harvey is now like, oh my god, it's
like
a
the
whole,
real Harvey.
it's actually a whole different level. I'm not yet, I think, release it commercially, but I'm curious. And you know what's exciting right now? In the old days when such things were released, it used to take like 5 weeks for you to receive it. But now it's an update. It's an update away. And I enjoy that stuff. I like to know that someone else has thought about this like yesterday. I'll sit down and watch that, like how people watch probably the Apple event. And you're not going to lie to us that everyone is interacting with it. And I think that also speaks to consumerism, but also like how people are thinking right now. It's no longer I'm thinking for my village. If you do a design, it has to speak to a specific, like it's no longer oriented to your specific location. It's now I'm speaking for. I'm working for that. I'm doing things for the world. Like recently, I was talking to a friend who got a chance to attend in Daba. It's in Daba is like
It's a design thing. I mean,
there's one for deep learning. Deep learning, like machine learning, deep learning. So I think that's where OpenAI falls, like in terms of machine learning and artificial intelligence. So they're having this conference Africa level, and it was in Ghana. I think Ghana. So they were telling me how they thought because they're Ugandan developers, and so they were interacting with guys like from Microsoft, Google. They were telling me how when it was their turn to speak, these guys were like, wow. Like they have the same problems, they have the same bugs in their code. Like, how did you go about this? How did you go about this? And for me, that spoke to say that it's no longer about location. It's now what's your thinking style? How did you go about this problem? How do you approach this? And that unique style is why people will come to you.